Felon Crusader here, and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a busy week. We did the Swaton show on the Sunday at vintage show. So there was a bit of footage of that there, and we also did like a school garden fete. Few cars and a flyover there for the Spitfire, so we'll show you a bit of that. And of course at the Swaton show there's a flyover of the Lancaster as well, so I'll just join them two together. But anyway, we had a visit out to Casterton and to pick up my speed roller, and Brian has very kindly let me borrow it for a day or two. And so yeah, it's been quite hectic, and although everything's sort of all jumbled up, it's the way it is sometimes, and we endeavour to try and just bring it to you as it comes. So yeah, sit back, see what you think, catch you on the next.
going on there for a couple of days. We're at the final filter. We tried for the right side. We've never seen the egg going before. But look, they got a bit of practice. The first two ladies looked good, but then they're smashing egg there, they're smashing. We've never seen Tristan out boxing together. We've seen him in the box there. He's next day, he won't have a go with him.
Absolutely not. I probably would if I had a change of clothes. I wouldn't have to do any more picking up the seats and that.
You'd have a smashing time. Right, that's all right now.
So this is the journey home, and we're back on home ground, almost just round the corner, and then we're there. The last picture of this sequence is of all the standard Fords and the tractors lined up in the shed. Just had a quick tidy up and got sorted out once more. Right, so we've had the tyres delivered, and and what's name? And I fitted them to the rims, and you've probably seen me in previous videos. I always paint my rims after I've got the tyres on, because the bloody rims are heavy cast iron rims, and you always end up shoveling them about and scratching the paint off and doing when fitting tyres. So I always paint mine when the tyres are on. But anyway, that's another move forward with the water washer. As soon as I get them painted, and then we can fit them to the tractor. So, and another little bit here, I've got some angle irons sorted out to do the sort of the last purling in which to put on the end of the shed to close that in for winter. I need to get the roof finished off over there and get that sorted out, and so that'll be another little job, good little job done there. I've got the Z purlins on order, so they should be here in a week or so. So then we should better crack on and get that job done. So, the bead roller. Well, it was a really hot day when I went to see Brian, and the old dogs were sitting down and well, not sitting down, but got the hose pipe out for them and give them a good drink, as you can see.
We were thirsty, we just didn't realise.
So this thing has got a big history. Pretty much all the stuff in Brian's yard, which his father sort of recommissioned and rebuilt, would have had the use of this bead roller somewhere in its life. Most of them panels on them machines would have had been made by this machine. So it's sort of antique in its own right, and although you'll not find another one like this, because Ron Knight made this himself in order to be able to rectify and build his own panels. And I say Brian's kindly let me borrow it, and I'm doing the same. I'm going to rectify my water washer mud guards with it. Unfortunately, Ron never did any standard Fords and mud guards of his own. So therefore all the rollers that come with it don't lend themselves to doing my mud guards. So I'm having to make my own, which is fine, that ain't no problem. So I made a couple here now, which is to bend the lip we're doing here. Now this has got to end up at right angles to the plate where I'm holding it, and we should be running that through there to do that, which I shall show you in a bit. So, and the bit that this is a test piece, but the bit we're making here is the bit I straightened out. Okay, so you can see you've got a bit there flat, then you've got the rolled edge with the rod in it. Now I cut this piece out and straightened it out so I could get the measurement to cut my new plate. So we could mark this plate out, and you can see my scribe line there all the way around, and that's a little gadget I have to mark it out with. So it starts in this corner, look, you just see that there, follows it round, and yeah, it just comes into light. So that is the whole diameter of this sheet, as I've got that bit cut out there. And then I'll leave that edge, and then that's got to be bent back to a right angle like that. Well, not like, 'cause it's not finished, but you understand what I'm saying. It's got to be bent the same as that. And that'll be bent so it ends up, I'll get my ruler here, so it ends up being bent like that way there. And that leaves me enough material to set to and create the rolled edge which is there. And although we could probably knock this edge round by hand, and I've no doubt a good man could do all that by hand, but you know, if you're in that sort of game, if you're a panel beater, it would be no problem, because obviously you learn a lot of techniques and you'd have the knowledge to do that. I'm a bit more mechanical than that, so for me a bead roller is the tool to have to finish it off. Now I've always sort of thought, well, I ought to have a bead roller and buy one, like, but sort of never really got around to doing it. But by doing this roller I've got now and adapting it to do my job and doing the job, I can see that probably afterwards, you know, I would actually look around and probably buy another machine, because I have been thinking about doing similar and doing it on my horizontal milling machine. So it's, and the light comes on, there you go. So I've got my horizontal milling machine here, and you know, it's got like a driven roller, and for me, like, I would extend the shafts and then have the other one bolted to the table underneath, and I could have a powered roller here on the milling machine, and I think that's what I'm heading for, is doing, you know, something similar to that. So, you know, and you can enhance on that then, because then you on the table I could have two rollers, so I can lift them up, and then I could end up having, you know, like a powered roller for bending flat metal and so forth. So, you know, the options are there if you only just want to set about it and you know, make the bits and pieces. As with all these jobs, you know, you can't do anything without you set to and you make a load of stuff to reproduce one small part. It's just the satisfaction of being able to do it all yourself. So that's where we're at with that. I'll get organised in a minute, and we'll see if we can finish this bit off, and then we'll make some more tooling then, you know, to create, you know, the rolled edge that we've got on the bottom of that. So on with the next. Okay, so we just finished boring out the the die for the bead roller, and we're going to have to put it in the mill now, and just mill a slot in the end for its dry position. So I'll get it in the mill and I'll bring you back. Okay, so we've made the first die for the bee roller, and we're just milling the slot out in the end for its drive dog. The roller has to be driven, so it has to have means of connecting to the shaft. So we'll put the groove in here so it can pick up the keyway on the other end of the shaft for it to turn. So we've got a few bits here to do. I've got to go down, I believe it's about 5 mil. So I'm just being a little bit delicate because it's only just sitting in the end of the chuck on the top of the rotary table. One, because it's just easy to just slap it on there instead of having to clear the table off and you know, and trying to clamp it down. So you can see what I'm doing there. So we'll keep progressing with that, and we'll catch up with you later. Okay, so we're going to have a go at just rolling this edge. Of course, it'd be easy to roll this little bit, but when you get that big sheet in, I think we're going to have to find somebody just come work the wheel. So pretty much let's put it at 90 degrees, look, which is what I want, but it has slightly curved, but it needs to be flat. But I'm hoping that I can put that on the bench and give it a tap and just level that up. So I'll do that now. I'll put it under the bench, on the bench, and just give it a tap and just see if we can square it up. Okay, so it's pretty much there. We've got a little bit of a bow in the back. Just have to see what the big sheet comes out like. If it's too much of a bow when I'm done and it can't be straightened, then I'll have to invest in a shrinker to shrink that edge so that it bows it back the other way. But I've got to get there, and and then I've got to bend that lip again. So I'm going to do the full process on this one before I progress to the big sheet. So as I know, when I bend it back, it might give me a bigger curl or it might lessen the curl. So, you know, we'll just have to, you know, progress with this test piece and just see where it takes me before I commit myself to the big sheet. So it's all good. Okay then, so that's pretty much it for this one. We'll carry on with this next week and see if we can learn something and bend the rest of this round and get the wire edge in there. You know, make up some more tooling and just see how it turns out, and then we'll progress to a bigger sheet. So that about wraps it up for this one, and I'll see what I can learn this week and share it with you next. Catch you on the next.